Hey guys, welcome to the pilot episode of Madhav, Miah, and Malik. So today we're probably just going to do a little bit of a introduction for everybody, kind of get into the rhythm of podcasting. This is all of our first time doing it. Hopefully you guys enjoy what we have to put out in the future. Anyways, who wants to start?
I'll
I can
start.
go. Okay.
So my name is Tasin. I'm a aerospace engineering major at the University of Maryland, and uh, we, I'm interested in not only like just aerospace engineering stuff, but I'm really interested in politics too. I've been following politics for a long time, uh, like at least since I was like in ninth grade. So that's like 4 years ago, and I think all of us bring a different all three of us bring different perspectives to it, and we have had a lot of fun debating about them, so we decided to make a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just expanding upon that a little bit, the three of us met in high school, and one of the defining things that drew us together was like our debates on different topics that affect us today. And we all have very different opinions on things, but then we just love having a conversation, and we want to share that with everyone else today. Um,
So,
uh,
so another thing is, I think we should probably all like introduce ourselves. So I'm Hamza. The first voice you heard was the scene, and the voice right before me was Madhav. We all went to Jericho High School, and now we're all freshmen at our respective undergraduate schools. Right now, I'm a freshman at the George Washington University in DC, and I'm an international affairs major. So everything we're probably going to be talking about is going to be concerned with my major for the most part. And I'm really excited to not make any money in the future. So hopefully this podcast does pretty well, so I could support a family.
yeah. Um, I go to Washington University in St. Louis, and I plan to study biochemistry, bioinformatics. So I guess I can offer a Darwinian view of the politics that we
Oh
discuss.
my.
And what's your name, sir?
I'm Madhav. I'm Madhav.
So
Uh,
yeah,
so
so the background, we have diverse backgrounds. Like you heard, Hamza is a very rigid political international studies background. Madhav is a more hardcore science background, especially with from the biology side specifically. I am also a science background with aerospace engineering, but that also what I am, but because of that, what I'm also knowledgeable in is in the field of the military industrial complex. So that's like another different perspective that I'll bring to the podcast.
one thing that both of them seem to forget is we met in science research. So I do have a science background.
Oh
Please don't
boy.
label me as a social scientist. I would like some reputation. Thank you. I did my research in prostate cancer and renal cancer. I have a publication. I hope you remember that, Tasin. And yeah, so basically, we've been friends for a pretty long time now. I'd say since sophomore year, since we all kind of met each other in
Yeah.
the introductory scientific research course in Jericho High School with Dr. Serena McCalla, who is now a Emmy Award winner
Yeah,
in the
it's
science fair film.
crazy.
So check
Crazy.
that out on Disney Plus because if we don't say that, she will probably kill us all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
Hopefully, you can
yeah,
get some royalty on this, like some ad revenue or something like that.
yeah.
We should ask her about that.
Yeah. So, anyways, the basis of this podcast is kind of just us, just messing around, talking about politics like we usually do in our Snapchat group chats or Facebook Messenger group chats. But we just thought it'd be
Verbally now.
fun to, we just thought it'd be fun to kind of like make a podcast and see our growth in the future, see how our political compass kind of shifts over time, and just look back on our time as college kids. Have some nice memories on here.
Yeah, I fully agree with what Hamza said. I want to see growth in all of us because we have actually been debating for a long time on political stuff, and while we have memories of them of the debates and stuff, but it'd be nice to have it recorded so we can kind of go back and see like how our views changed from back then to now, even which we can't, but we can do it going forward, hopefully.
Yeah.
I also
And
feel. I also feel like it's gonna strengthen our friendship, even though we're very far away. This is something that kind of unites us, so it'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing we should probably explain is kind of the name of this podcast. So
Oh boy.
uh, yeah, Madhav's name is obviously his first name. Miah is Tasin's middle name, even though he now
Uh,
has legally
X.
changed it.
It's my ex middle name. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Uh, and then Malik is my last name. Uh, yeah. So one thing about
We just like a
Tasin
little bit
is
of
that
alliteration here.
yeah, one thing about Tasin is that Miah was his middle name, except he became a U.S. citizen and he had that option to remove it legally. So he did that. So congrats to Tasin on that one.
But in our
Let's not
hearts,
forget
he's
to
still there.
congratulate Madhav here, who also recently became a United States citizen. So
Thank
all three of us are now voting age and voting eligible, and
Yeah,
hopefully we'll
but
be
Madhav
voting.
didn't have a cool story behind it, so
Oh no.
I guess I'm gonna be the funny one on this podcast then. So
Nah,
hopefully that
Madhav's cool
brings in more
story is
money.
that he got through the immigration process altogether. Pretty surprising, if
Uh,
you ask me,
Tasin, you're from Bangladesh.
sir. You don't want to start your podcast off with racism, do you?
I mean, it depends.
I
What
thought we were
kind of
moving
crowd are
away
we
from the
really joining?
breakbark folks.
I don't know, man. Whatever brings in the most money.
All right, I'll be ready to scream "Frogs are gay" next episode.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Okay, so I think we should probably all kind of like describe what our political views are at the moment in terms of the political compass. Just a little introduction. So for me, I used to be pretty hard left, but now I've kind of mellowed out. I've matured through all one semester of college. I'd probably say I'm more of a moderate now, probably leaning a little bit to the left, but sometimes on the right, depending on the situation. Tassine is a hardcore communist. Madhav is alt right, and yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Y'all want to
uh,
add anything?
Yeah, go ahead, Mana
I'm
first.
I would say I'm centrist, lean right sometimes. Social issues, I'm very liberal. But I think the word that would describe my positions best is I'm libertarian. So this country gives you the freedom to do anything, and I want everyone to make use of that. So yeah,
Yes. He also would not like his U.S. citizenship to be removed.
yeah, that's
I
also true.
will I will predict this right now that as these podcasts progresses, we will see Madhav is decidedly very not libertarian. But um, like Hamza accused me of being a communist, I am indeed not a communist, but a very left-leaning progressive on most things. Part of the reason I think that I'm considered a left-leaning progressive is that I would actually be a centrist on like the global political compass, but the United States as a country is so far right in most of its positions that what would normally be a centrist position has become like a leftist progressive position. Uh, I do, even though most of my positions will sound like they're very left-leaning. I do have some opinions, especially that would be considered right wing because if you remember the political like the graph that's like left leaning, right leaning, and authoritarian and liberal. So I think I would be in like the left leaning authoritarian camp more because I do believe in a lot of big government programs and things like that. So we'll
We have Hitler on our hands, huh?
what
We have Hitler on our
left
hands.
leaning authoritarian is Hitler, right? Got it.
Okay, perfect. Our first podcast demonetized as we like it. So hopefully, our goals for this podcast obviously is to see growth, but hopefully over time we kind of have a handle over YouTube and figuring out videos, trying to get our webcams onto this. But for now, you're gonna have to suffice with our audio, which is probably pretty bad because
And our
Tassine just
beautiful
found his
voices.
$15 microphone and headphone set
30.
that is 30. Okay, he's bougie. Anyways, uh, hopefully this gets better in terms of quality, and if you guys enjoy it, we'll have more resources to actually make it better for you guys and devote more time to it. Because obviously we're all still undergrads. We're all well, the other two are working pretty hard. I'm just reading, so hopefully they'll have more time to devote to this, rather than trying to spend 15 hours figuring out when one time can suffice, which is what
Yes.
happened right prior to this podcast recording.
Well, I mean, that one was kind of sprung upon us, but I think we will have a more scheduled meetings for this later on. And also, he said this will get better if you guys enjoy this more. In reality, even if no one likes it, he'll probably still keep doing it. But you know, just letting that be out there.
Shh, we have to make actual incentive for them to watch to see. Come on, get with the program. Okay,
I,
so another thing we could probably start off with is our ethnic background. We're all pretty
oh,
Desi,
true.
but we all have very, very different localities in the Desi world. So, Madhav, if you want to start off with your Bengaluru script?
Yeah. So I was born in Bangalore, the greatest city in this world.
Oh boy.
Uh, yeah, so my parents are from two different states in India, southern India, Tamil Nadu and uh, Andhra Pradesh, and they met in Bangalore at work, and they had me as a kid. Um, I studied most of my elementary and middle school in Bangalore and moved here at the end of seventh grade or the start of eighth grade. And since then, I've been in Jericho with these fools. Yeah. So,
To see in your
Um,
turn?
yeah, so I would like to make a quick explanation because we've been assuming that people will know what Desi is because of like we expect a lot of people to know that, but we shouldn't. Desi refers to the countries that are in the Indian subcontinent, and people from those countries often refer to themselves with the term Desi, which means that like off the country. Uh, if you do like a literal translation. So I myself am not Indian, but I am from Bangladesh. I was born and I went to born there, and I went to school there for or all of elementary school. But I did my middle school and high school in the United States. Um, yeah, I moved here about 8 years ago, almost now, and then I've been here since. I have like never gone back, not even to visit or anything. So I'm like kind of far removed from the culture. But uh, other than that, I think that's about it as far as like my cultural background goes. Um,
Nice. So to kind of start off, I'm probably the most whitewashed here. I grew up my whole life in America. I've been in Jericho my whole life, other than for university and some research projects. Uh, so my parents are from Kashmir, and over time, you guys will probably understand my positioning on the political atmosphere there. I will try not to say it right now because I think we could have at least 15 episodes on that. So I'll leave it to then. But anyways, they were both born in Srinagar. My father in Chota Bazar, and my mom in Rajbagh. So if you guys know any of the localities there, you would understand their socio-economic status, I guess. And yeah, they came over in the 1970s, I believe. Both my parents are doctors, but my mom now runs a business. And yeah, I've visited Kashmir a lot over my years, probably 7 or 8 times now. The latest I went was August 3rd, 2 days before the recent flare up in Srinagar and the rest of Kashmir, right before Article 370 was revoked. So, yeah, I still have all my family there, and the political situation is something that's very near and dear to me. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to discuss that.
yeah. So I think that's
mm,
like a good introduction to get people acquainted with our dynamic, at least.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping from the next episode we can start discussing some of the issues that we care about most. Um, yeah, what do you guys think?
yeah, I think
There's
actually go ahead, Hamza.
okay. I just want to kind of like quickly elaborate on how we all met.
Yeah,
Obviously, we all went to Jericho High School,
yeah,
and we all pretty much were pretty science focused in high school, but we all met through science research. We have a pretty prestigious program at Jericho High School for scientific research. We've had a lot of Regeneron finalists, one being our very own Madhav, right in this chat. So, yeah, we didn't really know each other prior to that. It was sophomore year, and I don't
me
know,
and
we kind of
Hamza soccer. You and
Oh yeah,
Hamza played soccer together.
yeah. Me and Madhav played freshman soccer when we were both younglings.
Yeah.
Madhav got a horrific knee injury because he was reckless, and now he's all okay, so we're fine with that. And I
I
had
mean,
my
the knee
own
injury is
reckless
still
knee
there.
injury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my first memory of Jericho High School was me nutmegging Hamza. So
Wow.
that was my
Wow.
claim to fame at recess.
As you can see, I was a cool kid because the nutmeg obviously gave him fame. So
Yeah.
I'll take all your popularity. Thank you.
Me and Hamza met before research too in AP Euro. Actually, that was a very interesting first interaction we had.
Yes, the first words Tasin ever spoke to me. I didn't know this kid whatsoever, and then I have a brown boy tapping my back in AP Euro, saying, "What's your favorite Arabic letter? Mine is meme." And he thought that was a really funny joke.
So for those of you that didn't get that, meme is a literal literal letter in the Arabic alphabet, and part of the reason that joke applied to Hamza is because his name is also another letter in the Arabic alphabet.
So yeah, he thought that was hilarious.
And
I
you
thought
thought
he
it was
was a
hilarious
whack
too.
job.
Excuse me.
Yes, yes, I did think it was also hilarious. I thought
Uh,
he was a whack job, but he got pretty cool over the years.
and
I
then
enjoy his presence.
me and Tassine, we met on like a bus ride home, I
That
think.
was the
Yeah, it was a very odd first interaction, but he grew to
yeah.
become one of my closest friends that I've ever had.
Like, can you
Uh,
imagine you're riding a bus and you had a conversation with some kid on the bus, and then a few years later you're like the closest friends ever? It's kind of
yeah,
weird.
yeah. And then I
As you can
think,
see, I'm third wheeling.
uh, and where our three lives intersected was at science research. I think that's
Yeah.
what Hamza was referring to. So
Yeah, and ever since then, we've been best buds. Uh,
playing
we share
cricket.
all we share most of our life problems with each other. We've had a lot of good debates, bad
Hmm.
debates, funny debates. Me and Madhav
Debates.
were actually debate partners. I had to carry him as usual.
Uh,
So yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary of how we all met and who we all are. Hopefully, we can
Hmm.
elaborate later on if people enjoy it, and if they don't, we probably still will. So you better.
I think we'll make it big. If you're familiar with Hassan Minaj and his recent rising popularity, I think the market is ripe for more brown representation.
Disclaimer: if you don't like Hassan Minaj, we're nothing like him. If you do, we are everything like him.
although Tassine claims to be discount Hassan Minaj on his Tinder profile.
This is
we
clearly incorrect because I do not have a Tinder profile anymore.
Anymore is the keyword right there.
For I have not had one for almost 2 weeks now.
As you can see, Tassine struggles with a love life, and I think we should wrap it there.
uh,
Hope you
I'd
guys
still be
enjoyed
on it if I
this.
struggled, right?
Yep.
Anyways, yeah. All right.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was I don't think anybody's going to listen to more than 20 minutes of us rambling on about our lives and Tassine's love life. I could barely do it for 5 minutes. So
Yeah, I'd love
thank
to.
you for listening if you did, and bye bye.